I wanted to like this one a lot more than I did, and I'm going to try my best in this video to explain why I didn't love it. Like, I don't hate it by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not a huge fan of the Toxic Avenger. The Toxic Avenger was released in 1984. It was written by Joe Ritter and directed by Michael Hertz and Lloyd Kaufman. Now, the general idea, no spoilers, but it's really hard to spoil this film. The general idea is about this nerd who, is just the janitor at this place, at this school. And the school kids bully him, and he ends up jumping out of a window into a boiling pot of acid. Which turns him, I guess it's toxic waste technically, and it turns him into the Toxic Avenger, who is like this crime-fighting Hulk. Instead of fighting crime, he's just fighting his old bullies from the past, which is kind of funny. Which brings me to the part where it is a funny movie, and yes, it is very funny, but it's more funny because it's bad than anything else, which is fine. That's a fine way to be funny, but like it's also like it's campy as all hell, and I do love me some camp in a film. I do think it's a little over-the-top camp. It is 84, so I get it. But, like, it is a little over-the-top for me. The aspect ratio is kind of off, too. I didn't love that. It's, like, this tiny little screen, and I'm like, okay, that's not great. I should have watched it on my computer, honestly. That might have actually made it a little better. But I think the design of the character is really good, especially for 84. It looks like a really cool, low-budget monster flick. But, like, the comedy for me didn't land as much as I wanted it to. Like, most of the time, it didn't strike me as funny. And it didn't strike me as anything else either. I was just kind of like watching it, like observing the film rather than watching the film. And I don't know, I think that's like my biggest setback is like I just didn't really care about what happened in the story. It was much more like, okay, let's see the Toxic Avenger, that's it. But like they really did try to shove story down your throat, which is fine, but it was a bad story. This guy like falls in love with a blind woman because of course she's gonna fall in love with the Toxic Avenger naturally, and then like progresses from there. But like I don't love, I don't hate that whole thing. But I don't love how the Toxic Avenger can speak, and it is a voiceover for any time he speaks. But you still hear the growl in the background. That was a very poor editing choice, where the guy's just growling. Like, that's how you hear the Toxic Avenger speak for most of the film, and then you hear a voiceover. And I'm like, for the first like 20 minutes of this voiceover new thing that they had going for them, I was confused. I was like, is he like just speaking into his mind? Like, can no one else hear him? And we're just hearing his thoughts in the voiceover? Or is like everyone else hearing him too? And eventually I learned that, everyone else does hear him. And then I was like even more confused. Like, why do I still hear the growl then? And like, I don't know. I think that's a small editing choice that they could have done, and it would have made it so much better. Just on an audio perspective. The performances were good. I like them all. I don't have any problems with the performances. They're a little over the top, but for this movie it works. Like, you're supposed to be over the top. And it is an entertaining film at very least. It is a very fun film. It's fun. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a fun film. Will I be watching this again? Probably not. But I will do a quick plug for something I learned about as I was researching the film, which is there is a sequel. Sort of. It's more of a reboot, I think. There are sequels already made, but I think they're just doing a reboot of the franchise. So it's its own thing, starring Peter Dinklage as the Toxic Avenger. There's a couple other actors in there that are notable, but I forgot who they were. But it's supposed to come out like this year. Like, principal photography is done, so I imagine it's coming out soon. It might get pushed to 23, but I'm excited for it. Not because I think it's going to be good, but I think it's going to be bad, and I'm excited to watch it because of that. And this movie, is it good? No. Is it bad? Yes, but also no. I think The Toxic Avenger is a fun time, and if you have time to kill, this might be for you. And especially if you have friends to watch it with, and if you're a little inebriated, that might help. I will say that I watched this alone, and half of it was sober, and so that didn't really help it very much. I think that this is definitely a party movie, where, like, you're all just having fun, you're all just relaxing, you're all trying to find something to watch, and you're like, let's watch The Toxic Avenger. And then the other friends are going to be like, what's that? And you're like, ha ha ha, here we go. And then they're going to put this on, and they're going to be very confused, and yet very happy. That's what this kind of movie is for, and that's fine. I just don't have many friends to do that with. So these kind of movies don't really appeal to me very much. but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and give The Toxic Avenger a C+. Have you guys seen The Toxic Avenger? Let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. I think it's a very good cult classic film. I'm excited for the reboot because I think it's going to be bad. I'm saying it right here, right now. There's no way that movie's good, right? Right? Like, they're going to take it too seriously. They're going to have to. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But as of right now, I'm not looking forward to the reboot. But I'm looking forward to it, but because it's going to be bad. That's my take on it. But I guess we'll see. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. I truly appreciate it. Please consider subscribing. It would help me out a whole lot, keeps the channel going. And so yeah, please consider doing that. And as always, keep watching movies and television. Stay educated. And I'll see you guys in the next video.